Hello and welcome back to another edition of Life Made Easier podcast. My name's Lesley Pazdzioch, and of course I'm always your host. And today, like always, I always say this has been going to be the greatest podcast, but this one I know it is, especially for all of the females out there who are really looking for that blissful life. And today I have Dr. Rochelle Marie Lawson, and this woman has so much going on, I cannot even begin to explain. So I'm just going to turn it over to her. She's going to tell you all about her, and just be as in awe as I am, because she truly is inspiring to me, and I'm certainly sure she'll be inspiring to many of you too. So hi, Rochelle. I'm so glad we get to record this podcast. I've been really looking forward to it, and I want to thank you. I had such a wonderful time on yours the other day, and I hope this becomes like a regular tea for us. Anyway.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Lesley. I appreciate you having me as a guest today. Girl, I can talk, so I'm going to be as tight as 16 because I will just keep talking.
Go ahead. Let's just do it. If we have to break it up twice, we will. We got all day to record.
So I'm Dr. Rochelle Marie Lawson. I'm known as the Queen of Feeling Fabulous. And I'm a multiple successful business owner, and I do a lot of things. I'm an international speaker, and I'm a 10-time best-selling author and 2-time international best-selling author. I have a podcast called the Blissful Living Podcast, where we focus on wellness, wisdom, and wealth, so that we can not only have the life of our dreams, but we're actually able to live the life of our dreams. And I have a show. It's a show called Bold Unstoppable, and it's for bold, unstoppable women. And the show is a panelist show where I bring on panelists, and we discuss topics that we women face in today's society. It's fun, it's engaging, and if you ever see the show or watch the show, you're bound to get a wealth of information from both the podcast as well as Blissful Living for You. My podcast, both shows, you can go to my YouTube channel and check them out, Rochelle Lawson on YouTube, or you can listen to them on all the podcast networks out there. And the show is hosted by the C-Suite Network. So if you can't find me, I'm on all the social media. If you can't find me, you're not really looking that hard. I'm everywhere.
Sure, and have that. I'll put all your information in the descriptions and in everything that I do attached to this, so that people can find you, because I'm certain that it's going to be important. You know, Rochelle, one of the things that I just really wanted to kind of focus on here is, blissful living for women. We're talking, you are my hero in so many ways when it comes to the female, because let me tell you what, I think genders right now, like, they're not genders, I'm thinking roles, like the masculine, the feminine, I think they're just really kind of confused right now for a lot of people, right? And I'm not getting into anything other than the male and the female, right, energies, the physical body. You were born this, you were born that, because I'm very flexible, but I'm also very, very philosophical, and I'm very scientific about the body. Like, our human bodies are made up of certain chemicals and genes, and we cannot deny that, right? We cannot deny that. And so, and with that said, the thing that I really want to maybe highlight about on this conversation is we're women. We're soft. We are the nurturers. We are the caretakers. We're the ones that are loving, and when you cry, we hug you, and we want, but to be able to do that, to be able to let ourselves be who we are, live from the inside of us outward, right? We have to have safe spaces to do this in. And when we don't have those safe spaces, I'm talking personally, when I have not had those safe spaces to live in, then, I end up being the mom, the dad, the male, the female, and I'm all over the place, not even only on the outside of the world, but also on the inside of my world. And I lived this way for a very long time. And as I'm thinking about this, I think, you know what? many people who are challenged by childhoods that weren't nurturing or protected or safe for them, like mine wasn't, right? Um, didn't allow me to develop that aspect in me. And I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but you're a doctor, and I know you're going to be taking notes and doing this. But this is a lot I'm throwing at you from different perspectives. But I'm just talking about the female aspects, right? If it's not developed when we're young, that nurturing, because we were nurtured, right?
Right.
If it's not developed when we were young, and then we get into these relationships thinking that, oh, then we get into codependency, right? Of, oh, you're going to love me, or I'm going to love you, and everything's going to be roses. That's where what we think. Not true. I can tell you, didn't work for me. We end up attracting broken people as well, right? We end up attracting people that we can take care of, not work with. And
Right.
I know I'm putting a lot at you because it's flowing through my head, and I need to stop right here and write the rest of it down. But kind of, well, I'm going to finish it with this. I think that when women go into the workforce and women start their careers, when they have when that isn't nurtured within them, then when the inside of them, that female, when they don't have that safe outer environment and that inner environment and that inner knowing, that inner ability to nurture, I think it's affecting so many other aspects of our lives when where there's that work-life balance. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So I know
Yeah.
that I can stop here because I can already sense that you understand what I'm saying, and now you're ready to take off. So give it to me, Dr. Rochelle Marie Lawson, because I need answers to this. I need answers, my friend, and I know you're going to give them to
Hey,
me.
okay. So, first of all, I just want to make sure everyone knows that my doctorate is a PhD in business and leadership. I'm not a medical doctor, but I am a registered nurse with a background in emergency room nursing, trauma nursing, and flight nursing. So I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I also have an electrical engineering degree as well as an MBA and a communications degree, and an advanced degree, a master's degree in Ayurvedic medicine. And so I'm
Brilliant.
going to share. I
Brilliant.
want. Yeah, I love to go to school, but I think I'm done. But I want to share something, just a little story. So, as mentioned, I had two businesses. My first business is a telecommunications installation company. I co-founded it in 1990 with my husband, and I'm the first female minority-owned telecommunications installation company in the United States. And I share this because it was a business in a male-dominated industry, and it is a masculine business. And so there was times where I would go to networking events and I'd be the only female, and I come dressed to, because I'm a girly girl, but I grew up around a bunch of boys. I'm the only granddaughter in my generation of grandchildren. So I grew up playing with boys, doing, hanging out with boys, doing all that kind of stuff, but a very girly girl. And so I would go to these networking events and I'd be the only female, and the guys would come up to me and think I was somebody's secretary when I said I was the owner of, that telecom company, particularly in Silicon Valley. No, I'm gonna say wherever I went, they were astonished. They just couldn't believe that I was, the majority shareholder, CEO of the corporation. So then they would come at me different. They would always try to hit on me or, discount my knowledge and all of that kind of stuff. And it went on for a little while until eventually it stopped because they realized that I knew what I was talking about. I share this because here I am. I'm a very feminine girl, but I can be very masculine when I need to be. And so when we started that business, I had 4 kids and 2 bonus kids. I would say I had 2 bonus kids, 2 bonus stepsons that were older. And then we had our own kids, and I did everything. I ran the business. I made sure I was at all my kids' events, dance, basketball, football, track, whatever it is, even if I had to work inside the car and then go be present when they were doing their thing. I was raised in a family. Traditionally, I cooked every single meal for my kids, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, mostly in the summer when they were home. But they always went to school with a hot breakfast, and they always came home with a home cooked dinner. I didn't do fast foods or anything. And when I look back on that, and I did everything. Like I cleaned the house, I washed all the clothes, I did everything. And my husband didn't do anything really in that capacity until way later. But he was raised in a traditional family as well, where that's just what women did and the men did. They just sat around, right? And so I say this because when I began diving into the principles of Ayurveda, it gave me a whole wealth of understanding about myself and how I ebb and flow in life. And so those out there that are ebbing and flowing between the masculine energy and the feminine energy, or the feminine energy and the masculine energy, I want to say it's okay. You can ebb and flow wherever you need to be, because sometimes, like I said, you can be the most feminine woman on the planet, but you still need masculine energy to survive in a male's world. And corporate,
in the world, period, because it's
yeah,
male and female
corporate and
balance.
business is male dominated. I know there's a lot of females out there, but those are two male dominated things. And so sometimes you can be your feminine self, but you got to present and show up with masculine energy in order to be, one, taken seriously, and two, to let those that you're dealing with know that you know what you're doing, even if you're playing in the boys' playground, right? And on the other side, those of you that are super feminine and you want to ebb and flow in the feminine world, you can do that too. There's nothing that you can't do. It's all about the energy that you bring to the table. Because the energy you bring to the table is what people are going to pick up even before they meet you, even before they have a conversation with you. They're going to pick up your energy. And with the principles of Ayurveda, we're all unique. We have a unique essence that was created at the moment of conception. And so when you learn what your unique essence is, whether it's Vata, Pitta, or Kapha, is the doshas, when you learn what your dosha is, you learn so much more about how you can ebb and flow and how you should ebb and flow to stay in harmonistic balance with your wellness and your wisdom. So, it's interesting. And here's the other thing. When I was doing emergency room trauma nursing in the San Francisco Bay Area, I worked at several hospitals because I like trauma. I really love the trauma and in the flight nursing and just the ER stuff. But no matter where I worked, I was always the only female RN. All my teammates were males. Either they were the male x-ray techs, they were other male RNs, which was great because it got crazy in there sometimes. And the guys would come in. And so for me, I think the divine said, here's this little girl, this little baby that's being born, that's super feminine, but I need to make her tough in order to be able to be successful and be sustainable in a world that she's going to be living in. And my world is domination. I don't want to say domination. My world is the surrounding of masculine energy in men. If I was super feminine and not having any masculine energy, I wouldn't have survived or thrived. And so the theme is, grew up with a bunch of boys, worked in many hospitals where I was the only female, started a business in a male-dominated industry. And some of the other stuff that I did, I sat on the board of directors for a major healthcare organization for 25 years. I was the only female. So I think it's a theme that I'm supposed to have in my life, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because once the guys understand that, yeah, I might be cute. You may think I'm cute. I don't care about that. I'm here to talk about business. I'm smart and I know my stuff. And when they get to understand that, then it becomes I become a valuable asset to them as well as them to me, because I learn a lot. I learn a lot in how the world ebbs and flows, which is why I started the show Bold Unstoppable, because we women need to talk about these issues so that we know how to ebb and flow successfully without getting crushed in our male-dominated world.
You talked about, I know that you and I both share the spiritual aspects, and we understand that connection, that relationship. There are some people out there, a majority of them, probably most, I'm going to say, don't understand that connection, but they're looking for it, or that's what's missing and they don't know it, right? This is the perspective, I think, of much of society today. But if you, and I want to say that, but I want to put that here, and then I want to bring in another thing. When you were interacting in your field, right, when you were like showing your masculine, being your feminine, right? You had to have that balance. But you also, Rochelle, Dr. Rochelle, you cannot tell me this is not true. You also knew when and how because of the way people made you feel. You knew when to turn it up, you knew when to turn it down, and you knew when to close the door because it just didn't matter to you. And you said, you are not worth my time, slam. You knew that. You knew that. But how, Rochelle, if you were speaking to somebody like me, 58, I was the one that couldn't figure it out. If I felt that feeling, I tried to fix them, right? And when I tried to fix them, they took advantage of it and then ended up like turning against me and screwing me with my own goodness, right? That's, I think, where that saying came from. No good deed goes unpunished, right? That saying. But so what would you say to somebody that's going through that? Because there are a lot of people that have such a good heart and that they're really honest and they're taken advantage of. But you knew that boundary. How would you speak to, and I know where it came from. It came because of your family and your upbringing, right? Because your mom and dad instilled that in you, right? Your dad was a masculine role model who was a caregiver. He was a protector of your family, and your mom was the soft feminine one, right? So you had those two male, female images, or those, what do I want to say, role models that helped you find that balance.
Right.
What if somebody didn't? What if, like me, somebody didn't have it and they are falling and tripping and falling and they want to find that in them? What would you say to them?
I would say put yourself in the places that you're uncomfortable with. So, because when you put yourself in places that you're uncomfortable, and I don't mean like harmful places, right? But in situations
I want to interrupt for 1 second, because when everything is uncomfortable, when you get in that position, everything is uncomfortable. You don't know what comfortable is because you're always right. That they don't know what comfortable is, and I'm being God honest with you. I didn't know what comfortable was. My body has and leans more towards that high stress, high awareness. Being alert. Right. It's always been like that, and it's horrible because to be able to relax and to feel into my body took a hell of a lot. And it took silence. It took me being isolated. It took almost being a monk, living like a monk, to be able to feel my own freaking body and what was going on inside of it, right? Because I was so hypersensitive to all that shit out there. And I'm not saying everybody's out to get me, but when you're in that type of a situation like I was, there's a lot more people out to get you than not, because that's what you're attracting, right?
Right.
So Rochelle?
So what would I say? Okay, so if you, first of all, I would say if you don't already know about your comfort level, so to speak, then put yourself in places where you're uncomfortable and just ebb and flow with how you naturally. Pay attention to the energy, pay attention to how you feel inside, pay attention to the essence of what you put out and how people receive you. Everyone's not going to receive you in a comfortable manner, but that's okay. It's not so much if you're trying to have them receive you in a comfortable manner. It's all about you learning how to ebb and flow in places that are uncomfortable when you're already uncomfortable. Number two, I would say, is before you go out or do anything, whether it's your podcast, go to work, go to the grocery store, whatever it may be, practice grounding yourself before you leave your home or before you get out of your car. And it's real simple to do. You just sit. If you can, it's best to stand or sit on the ground. But if you can't sit on the ground, just sit anywhere. Or if you're able to, just stand. And if you're at home, go outside and stand on the ground, not the concrete, but dirt. And just stand there for a moment and just stand tall, good posture, and just connect with the energy from the earth as well as your own energy. First, you're going to connect with your own energy, and you're going to take any energy that you have, and you're just going to imagine that you're pushing the energy down into the ground. And you're going to sit with that for a moment. And then You want to change your energy, right? So you want to be like grounded. So then once you push your energy down into the ground and you're imagining that all your energy is going down to the ground, close your eyes, stand tall. Then now what you're going to do is imagine that energy from the ground is coming up with inside of you and shooting up to the sky. So it's almost like you're a pillar of light. And just do that for about, 2 to 3 minutes and then go on about your day. If you're sitting in a car or your office or anywhere where you're feeling uncomfortable, you can do the same thing. It's just that you're sitting. So now you're sitting and make sure you sit erect. Your tailbone is going to be the conduit that allows the energy to go down into the ground or the building or all the way down into the ground, as well as your feet. When you sit with that for a few moments and then you let it rise, the energy from the middle of the earth rise up into you and rise up above you into the stratosphere. And after you do that, you may or may not feel anything different, but it will help you to ebb and flow in those places where you're really uncomfortable, and those places where you're comfortable. You'll have more of a, I want to say, a positive essence that people will pick up and will want to respond to you, want to engage with you, want to get to know you, want to introduce themselves to you. Those are some simple things that you can do, simple things that I practice. And it takes a little bit of time, but if you continue to do it, you'll begin to feel and experience the changes. Like when I went to that conference that was in the construction industry, and I was the first one, I was like 22 years old, showed up dressed to the nines, and it was all guys that surrounded me at one time, asking me questions. And then they told me, who the hell do I think I am coming to play in the boys' world? This is the construction industry. It's not for women. I had to make sure my energy stayed neutral and balanced, for one, because I was a little afraid. I'm in this conference. I'm the only female, and these guys are older than me, and they're more fierce, and or at least they're coming across fierce and trying to instill fear in me. And two, I had to make sure that I let them know that I wasn't afraid of them. And that was all about me grounding myself in that moment in time. I have been doing it for a long time. So just was rapid, and I stood my ground, and they picked it up. And then I told them, I'm that girl that you need to watch out for because I'm here to stay. And they looked at me and said, one of them said, no, we're going to make sure you're out of business within the next couple of years. And here it is 33 years later, and I'm still in that business. And those guys are not around. But if I didn't have the capacity, they would have instilled more fear in me. And they definitely, whatever they were trying to do, they would have frightened me and scared me. And maybe I would have said, oh, I can't do this, and got out of the industry. But it was all about me being able to ground the energy, whether it was fear, anxiety, stress, and have that energy converted in the ground and come back up from the center of the earth as powerful fire and, positive energy, which allowed me to stand my ground, so to speak. So yeah, those are a couple things. And then the other thing is, I love to do this, and I share this, and I know people discount this all the time. Meditation doesn't have to be hours long. It doesn't have to be 30 minutes. You can do a meditation for a minute. And I like to share this. When you wake up in the moment, don't just hop out of bed. When you open your eyes, take a moment, and you can ground your energy then. Say a thanks to the divine or whoever, whatever it is, your religion or whatever. If you're not religious, just say thankful to be waking up for the day. And then surround yourself with positive energy. And it doesn't take long, but that's a simple meditation you can do. And then once you've surrounded yourself in a bubble of positive energy, rise up out of bed and just watch what happens in your day, and watch how you respond. Watch how you respond. And the more you pay attention, the more information you get. It's like, how you watch a show and there's all kind of things going on, and you're focused on the main character, but the other characters, not the main characters, are doing stuff, but you're so focused on the main characters that you miss the other stuff that the other people are doing. Well, when you do that grounding, you are able to see all what's going on, the main characters and the ancillary characters as well. And you'll be able to have a game plan to ebb and flow successfully that feels really good and harmonistically to you. And the most important thing I have to say is, when you learn your dosha, your unique body type, there's so much wisdom and information from that makes you so much more powerful inside, that no one ever has to know about, but they will know that you are powerful because you know you're powerful and you know how to ebb and flow when you're in balance and out of balance. You know how to bring yourself back into balance.
So there's so much now. I just I'm going to be short about this. First of all, when you go outside, I totally agree because when I'm outside, it makes me feel better. But I feel it helps me to be barefoot or to have socks on because the rubber or whatever the sole of the shoe, unless it's like a leather or if it's a man-made material, the energy can't go through it. But if it's a man-made material, the energy, and I know it sounds woo-woo crazy, but it's seriously true. It's like bark on a tree, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
would
bark
say
on a
I should
tree.
say you should be out. You should do it barefooted if you can. I
Even if
did.
it's like sit at a park and put your feet in this grass or sand or whatever, but you can't have any man-made material between you and the earth. That's why I think it's funny that you said about the watching movies because when you think about the Big Bang Theory, I don't know if you've ever watched that, but I watched it for a couple of years, or any movie like sitcom or series that's on, like the Cosby Show or whatever. You can watch it, you know the main character's name, but man, if somebody asks you the other character's name, you're like, sometimes you don't know. Draw a
You got
blank
it.
because you pay attention to more to the main um, character than anything else. Rochelle, I know that you are a very strong woman, and I know that you're 21 years old and you stood up to these men. I'm telling you what, 22, I don't care, but you have to be honest. There was some level of fear inside of you, my friend, because you are 22 years old. I mean, you're the shit and you know it because you've been told it, but now you're out in the world trying to prove it to yourself, right? By standing up for yourself and proving it to others. Ooh, that was a powerful thing that I just said. You know on the inside, when you know on the inside that you are the shit and that you matter, that you're your shit, right? That you matter. It doesn't matter what other people think because what matters is what you think of you. And that's what you did. But when you have that grounding inside of you, right? And you go out into the world and you're saying, here I am, I'm grand and everything else. And the world today is going to knock you down like those other men and say, whatever, Rochelle Marie, you're not all that, right? You had to have some form of fear inside of you, girl. I'm telling you, shit, you had to have. How did you overcome that fear?
So, the story I like to share is I was traumatized when I was 8. Was bullied my whole 8th year of life by a girl that had got skipped from 2nd grade to 4th grade. And so I was the young one. And this girl, she bullied me. And I lived in fear every day. But here's the funny thing, I still continued to get straight A's in school. It was just funny. I never shared the bully experience with anyone, probably not until my late 40s. My mom, I didn't share with. No one in my family knew. And I think from that experience, I learned. Once I got out of that grade and I went on to the next school, I did see the girl again, probably when I was like 15, by chance. And then when I saw her, the fear that she instilled in me that when I was 8, it rose right back up. But this time it was different because now I was ready to fight back. And so I think that year, my 8-year-old year of being 8, was a very pivotal moment for me to understand that we're all going to have fear. It's what we do with the fear that can make us or break us. And I'm determined, and I know the divine has put me here for a reason. So I was determined not to ever let anybody ever again make me fearful like that. Now, there's moments that I've come across, like at that meeting, the conference I went to, that fear did come up, but it was a different type of fear that made me want to fight for survival.
How do you know the difference? That's key right there. Dr. Rochelle, this is just where, this is it. This is where we need it to be. Okay, there's the feared 8-year-old girl, right? The one that just like, oh my God, right? And later when you were 15, it came up. So you knew it hadn't been dealt with. You knew you hadn't worked through that, right? And that happens to a lot of us, even up into our 50s. But here's the next part. And you recognize that, okay? You recognize that versus the fear that's going to be in there, that you know you're the shit and you're going to prove it. Define those two things and tell us how we do it if we don't know how to look within, because there's a lot of people that don't know how to look within. And I'm telling you, when I was 40, my therapist said, "Who are you?" And I said all this stuff about I'm a mom, da 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 da. And she said, "Those are nice attributes about your life. Who are you inside?" I'm like, "What?" She said, "Within yourself. Look within." And I said, "Look within what?" This is why I'm having this conversation with you, because I spent the next 18 years looking within to figure out why the hell God hit that reset button on my life, and I went down to nothing, to a 5-year-old, and I had to start all over again at 40. At 40, I had to learn these things, right? I had to learn how to feel again. I had to learn how to process things again. God really hit it hard. And I know, and it was a time, that's when I had my holy war with God, right? And I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're doing to me, because I've been this nice person all my life. I'm walked on constantly, taken advantage of. I'm putting it up. I'm forgiving it. I'm letting it go. But why are you doing this to me? And this one really hurt. And God said,
So
he couldn't explain it. He couldn't explain it. But you're going to help me with that, because a lot of people are here, Rochelle. You know that a lot of people, Rochelle Marie Lawson, this is where people are. God's hitting the reset button. They don't understand because they've been doing all the right things. How do you know? How can they tell?
So I think for me, after that 8-year experience that I had, my 8th year of life, I vowed to never let anybody do that to me again. And here's the thing: I would play with boys in the neighborhood. I would fight a boy. I would fight little boys. I don't know why this girl, decided to me. But even when I saw her at 15, the moment of that fear came back and took me to my 8th year of life. But this time it was different because I was ready to fight. Before, I just didn't fight her. But this time I was ready to fight. And she came at me. And this is the funny thing. She came at me. I'm walking down the street to go to my friend's house. I was at my grandmother's house. I'm walking down the street to go to my friend's house. And she was in the car. She was driving. And she pulled up and she called my name. And I looked. And of course, that fear was invoked in me. But she asked, "Where are you going?" And I said, "None of your business." And she looked, because I didn't do any of that when I was 8. And she was bigger than me, but now, I'm a big girl now. And so she actually said, "I want to apologize to you for being so mean to you when we were in the 4th grade." And I said, I said, "There's no apology needed. It was meant to happen because now I'm fierce and nobody will F with me now. You taught me how to stand up for myself and never to let anybody F with me. And I will never, ever, 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 ever go through that again." And she looked and she goes, "Wow, you're sure not the girl you were in 4th grade." I said, "I was that girl in 4th grade, but I just didn't know it. And you were the one that taught me and showed me that I needed to be that girl for the rest of my life." And so I think after that moment, she apologized, and then she was like, "Okay, well, it was good to see you. Take care of yourself." I've never seen her again. And she drove off. I was like, I'm going to walk down to my walk, got a little bit more sassier. I stood up a little bit taller, and I knew at that moment in time that I'm a badass chick, and I'm never, ever, ever going to let someone F with me. I think it was a moment of epiphany. So any of you out there that are in a place of fear, and you don't know, I would say 2 things, or a couple things, more than 2 things. I would say, just know that fear is just one moment in time. Also, connect with the most powerful divine energy that you can imagine. And if you're not spiritual, you're not religious, just connect with some energy in the earth, on the planet. Tornadoes are powerful. Hurricanes are powerful. Earthquakes are really powerful. Fire is powerful. All of that. We have the fire, the air, the water, and the sand or the earth. Connect with that energy. Be that tornado. Let that tornado swirl inside of you and rise that fear up. Let that hurricane blow that fear out of you. Let that fire burn that fear. And let that water drown that fear and tap into that most powerful energy. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, but when you start walking in the essence that you're the baddest queen or king on the planet, then you know that when you stand at rock solid in a pillar of your strength and you've connected to your divine energy, you've grounded yourself, you connected to the energy of the earth, nothing can shatter you. And the only thing is I can say is just remember, it's just a moment in time. I think about when I was in the emergency department, children that would come in abused, really, really, really abused, defenseless children. I think, who in the hell would, abuse a child sexually, physically? Who would do this? There has to be a really sick soul. But I would always talk to the children. Sometimes they would come in to me unconscious. I always talk to them and say, you are the most powerful little being on the planet. And I would say that over and over and over again to them. You're the most powerful little being on the planet. You're the most powerful and precious little being on the planet. You have something to do. And this is just that moment in time. You will get through this. And I would even say that to the older young ladies that would come into the emergency that have been raped and sexually assaulted and violently. And I would say, stand in your power. I know it was fearful. I know it was very scary. We all have had very scary moments, but stand in your power because now you can make the change. And when you make the change, people will recognize a difference in you, and they may circumvent and not abuse you, and they still may abuse you, but always stand in your power. And when you stand in your power, it gives you the energy to fight back. And that's the key. We have to fight back. We have to fight back from our fear. We have to fight back from our perpetrators. We have to fight back from those who abuse us. We have to fight back from society sometimes, but we have to fight back. Never, ever, ever give up the fight. Never, ever give up the fight, because one day you'll win the fight and that will be the game changer. But if you give up, you will never, ever go forward to try to ever defend yourself or win. So never, ever give up. It may be traumatizing and you may experience trauma, but just know you just got to keep fighting the fight and stand in your power.
Rochelle, there's only been 2 other podcasts.
Find your power. Yeah, and I want to say this one last thing. If you can't find your power, if you don't know what your power is, then pretend that you're a superhero. Pretend that you're Wonder Woman. Pretend you're Superwoman or whatever it is. And in that moment in time, channel their energy. Because sometimes, even if it's not for real, the character is not for real, it's not the essence of whether they're for real or not. It's the essence of them giving you and showing you that it's okay to be powerful in your own strength. And just take that and do what you can with it. And it may not immediately change your situation, but the more you tap into it, the more strength you get and the more you will fight back. Think about the women who've been sexually assaulted or physically abused by their spouses or the people that's supposed to love them. And eventually, Farrah Fawcett made that movie, The Burning Bed. She stood in her power and she said, enough is enough. I am not going to live with you in this fear anymore. Now, I don't recommend you go burn somebody or kill somebody, but you get to a point where you say enough is enough. And when you do that, the other person, the perpetrator, will definitely recognize the change within you and they get away from the situation.
The podcast, Rochelle, that I've ever really shared huge things about myself and my life and the things that have happened to me. And this is going to be one that I'm going to share something that I really haven't shared. This is probably the most personal. And I have to take my glasses off so I don't want to cry. This one is I'm glad you brought this up. Perhaps this is why, one of the things. When I was, my daughter was, my oldest daughter, I was single, I was like 20, to almost 21. And my little girl, I had just turned 21. And my daughter, her dad and I, we parted because his family disagreed with us being together, right? And so I went on a date with somebody else, and I was raped on that date. It was a first date, and I was raped, and I didn't have that support system around me that said, fight for yourself or whatever, right? I had the support system around me that said, What did you do? What did you do wrong? That's your fault. And even from my daughter's dad, this is what it was. And I'll tell you what, rape's a hard thing to prove, especially date rape. It's the hardest
Yeah.
to prove, hardest to prove. And I proved it. And I put him in prison for a year and a half. Just little me. I went, and I'm saying this. I'm telling you, women out there, if you have been raped, if you have been sexually assaulted, and you think nobody's going to listen to you, that nobody cares, that it was your fault, let me tell you what. I did it. Little 5-foot me, 21 years old. I don't know where it came from, but I was pissed. And I stood my ground. I went to all my rape trials and everything else. And my daughter's dad, or my daughter's father, didn't go to a trial, didn't do anything, didn't comfort me, didn't. It's like, well, what the hell did you do wrong, Lesley? You know, how could you have fucking done that? You put Amanda in danger, whatever, right? And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, and I took that on. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do wrong? How could I have not done that? What's going to happen to Amanda? I'm nothing. Oh my God, I'm so worthless. I was so ashamed. But then I said there was something inside of me, and I don't even know. I don't remember then. There was something inside of me that said, I am not going to let this happen to me. Oh, he said he was Sicilian. That's what he said. That his family was mafia, and that if I told anybody, that he would kill my daughter.
Yeah.
That was what it was. Now that I'm remembering, and I put this stuff away for a long time, but that's why he said it. That alone. If he would have just shut his mouth and not ever said anything about threatening one of my kids, right? He could have threatened me all he wanted to. I'd have just laid down and died right there. But you threatened one of my kids, and let me tell you what, that's all it took. And I went to the police, and we went through trials. I think the trial took about a year and a half. And I put him in prison. And his poor parents spent their life savings trying to defend him. And they didn't realize that date rape is the hardest to prove. Hardest to prove.
Yeah.
And my 21-year-old little self did it. And I did it alone, and I did it with people saying, what did you do wrong? I did it when people said, and I found my reason. You know, you have to find your reason to fight for yourself. And if you can't find a reason to fight for you, like I couldn't find a reason to fight for me, I fought because of my daughter, because he threatened my daughter, and it was like, no way. Because this little girl, she's never going to live the life that I lived. She will never experience the things that I lived. And I will move hell and high water to protect my kids. And I've never shared that. Now I can't believe I just shared it. But it's like, you gotta find something to fight for within you. Right?
You do.
You just have to. And thank you for bringing that up, because
thank you for sharing that, because you know what, you sparked a memory in me that I forgot. So I was dating this guy, and we were at his friend's house, and we went in the garage. They had a couch in the garage, and this boy's mother wasn't home. And so we're messing around and stuff, and he started trying to take my pants and stuff off, and I'm like, no, this is so-and-so's garage. Come on now. And he got really forceful. So I need him in the privates. I need him in the balls. And then I got up and was trying to get my clothes and stuff on, and he was coming at me, but he had a different look in his face. Well, back in the day, the garages had a door that would open up to the backyard. So, and it had a window in this particular house in San Jose. So I looked and I saw three of his friends lined up. They were going to pull, as it's called, a train on me. This was a dude that I was dating. I wouldn't really call him my boyfriend, but we were dating, right? They had strategized to pull a train on me. So all four of them were going to take their turns with me. So I saw the guys and I was like, what the heck? And my inner sense, and of course my divine team, I picked up, I'm like, what? I need a weapon, because there's no way. I'm a little girl. I'm 16 getting ready to go off to college, but I didn't even weigh 100 pounds. And so I saw a tire iron in the garage. And I said, if you come near me, I'm going to F you up. Now, your friends, y'all may get me. I said, but when I come back with my crew, you will not survive. And at that moment in time, he was coming towards me, and the big garage door opened up, and the boy's mama was coming. She was pulling her car in, and she looked like had this crazy look like what? And I said, I ran, got my stuff, and I ran to another friend. But when I was passing her, I said, those boys were going to rape me. Those boys were going to rape me. And I want you to know what type of boy you've raised. Your son was one of them. And I ran off to a friend's house down the street, and he wasn't home. And I just sat there at the bus stop getting ready. But first of all, I was more angry than scared, because here's someone I trusted. We had been dating for a while. And then I was disappointed in him because he thought I was a sleaze chick, right? Whether he thought it or not, they had a plan. But I was very thankful that the divine just woke something up in me, and I walked over to where I did to be able to see the boys standing outside. And then, my team was like, let's get this boy's mama home. And she opened up the garage. But, again, in a very fearful situation, but I stand with my power. And I don't care where it is today. If someone's going to attack me, I may or may not be able to prevent them from getting me. But whoever they come across next will know that they've been in a battle, because I am going to try my hardest to kill them. You know what I mean? If I have to bite their neck and bite their trachea or whatever I need to do, and it may be gory and bloody, but I'm going to fight to the end. And one of us is going to not make it. And I'm not going to be the one that's not going to make it. My goal is to be the one that survives. And so again, being in that fearful place, ladies and gentlemen, because I know boys get raped too, being in that fearful place, you got to give it all you got. You got to give it all you got. And you may come out hurt and you may not survive, but guarantee that whoever comes across that person that's done something to you, the next person will definitely know, not unless they shoot you or something like that, you know what I mean? But you got to give it. You got to fight. You got to fight with all your heart. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up, and don't ever give in to fear. Fear will make you paralyzed.
He loves me, and these are insecure girls, and but he loves me, and he didn't really mean to hurt me, and he didn't mean to do this.
Yeah.
What do you
It won't happen again.
And then they dump him, and then they think that this sex, if I have sex with him, he loves me, right? Women look at sex as love. Men look at sex as a sport.
Yeah.
Right?
It's something they do. They can have sex with nobody. They can have sex with somebody they don't even care about. They will do it. Whereas women, we generally have to have some kind of feeling for them, or, we like them a little bit or like them a lot or whatever. But it's different. But men, the males will have, it's all about conquering. So you think about like back in the caveman days, it was all about conquering. It's all about conquering. The wonderful thing I love about the animal community, and particularly like I'm a tiger. My animal is a tiger. I am a tiger. I'm a loner. My behavior is just like a tiger. But I love the lions because the lionesses are the badasses. Now the king of the jungle, he's the top dog. I mean, he's a badass. But the lioness, the females, they go out and hunt for the pride. The male lions watch the babies. The females, you may come across a male, but you definitely don't want to come across a female. And so find your power animal. I'm a tiger. Tigers, they are alone. They hunt to kill, and they don't really care. The lioness, they hunt and they kill for the pride. Find your animal and channel that energy, channel that strength of that animal, and be that fierce person that the divine created you. Just know the divine created you to be fierce and fearless, bold, unstoppable. And just, if you have to repeat those words, just do it. But find power in your fear, and you can overcome it. I was getting passionate because I'm like, just brought up some stuff I completely forgot about. I mean,
that's why we're having this conversation. I told you it's gonna go, girl. We're my friend.
Yeah, it was like 44 years ago.
My new best friend, because we're the opposite. Oh man, I'm telling you what. But I look at the world right now, and the reason I bring these things up, truly, the reason I bring it up is because the male and the female roles, they're getting a little confusing.
Mixed.
They're
Yeah.
getting a little um, contorted, or what is that even the word, contorted? They don't look like they're supposed to in the traditional roles. And I know people are going to say, oh, Lesley, you're so traditional and it's old fashioned and we just don't live that way anymore. Well, you know what? Look at the way the world is now and you wonder why. Look at the way the
Right.
world is now. But here's what I know and what I think is that if we go back to these original role models, or like, and I'm not talking role models, I'm saying roles, male, female. You're born a male, except the fact that you have these male genes, these male tendencies, these male hormones. Your body is constructed this way. If you are female, your body is constructed this way. I don't, that's all I'm saying, right? Males
Right.
protect, women nurture. People have to get back to accepting this is who I am. And when we have to face things out in the world, and when we're a woman and we're nurturing, and we have to walk out into this world and be confronted by things that are dominating, right? And that are coming at us to threaten our nurturing ability. There is this inner, that inner, this is what I'm trying, this is the whole point of this podcast. There's that inner knowing, that inner stand up for yourself, trust in the unknown and the unknown within yourself to know that, by God, you're worth your own damn effort, right?
Yeah.
You are worth your own effort, and it doesn't matter what happens on the outside. What matters is how you treat yourself, and never ever, what I've learned from life, never ever put myself second. I will never again let somebody, and I did it a couple years ago. I was letting a situation really um, just draw, and it took me about 2 to 4 months to kind of find my balance again. You know, it's like, ugh, it was like I did all this work and then something just tore me apart. It was like, come on, Lesley, you did this for a reason. Now find your balance, find your shit, know who you are, right? And so
Yeah.
it's that women it's being that nurturer, and then it's the masculine side too, because I know that the masculines will come in and they'll try to protect certain, they'll try to be the protector and the provider and all this other stuff, and they'll have someone turn around and look at them because they want them to nurture them. Let me protect you because I need nurturing, right? And women are
Right.
saying, let me nurture you because I need your protection. And that whole thing's getting so damn confused in society that it needs to really be put out there and saying, you know what? If this man comes to you and he wants to protect you, it's because he needs nurturing. He doesn't need you to say, I'm all that and I can fry it up in the pan and blah, 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 right? No, that's not what it's freaking about. If you have to be, like you said, I have to be the shit from inside of me, knowing that I can stand with these people, I can stand with these men, and I know my shit, right? But remember, this is what I was talking about on your show.
Yeah.
And then when you come home and your husband says, or your mate, or your whatever, or you have that male person in your life that says, let me take care of you, because I know that if I take care of you, you're going to nurture me because you thrive inside and you thrive as a human being because you're a female. And when you can nurture and you are in a safe space where you can nurture, you light up your magic. And when
Yeah.
you get there, because I'm protecting you, it's this inner exchange of energy that is the most beautiful thing that I think two people can ever have. And what happens in relationships now is that these women, and I'm not saying that anybody's right or wrong or the world has changed, and get with the program, Lesley, that, traditional values were then. That's not how the world works today. Well, guess what? That's how the world needs to work. It doesn't mean that you have to be always defensive. Women are women. You are built to freaking nurture. Nurture yourself by standing up for yourself, and nurture your surroundings because you're safe and you're protected and you have that to be nurturing. Oh, that felt so good for me to say because this is what I learned. And I'm telling you what,
Right. Nurture, you have,
relationships are so beautiful.
yeah,
I,
I mean, you said it. You have to nurture. You really do have to nurture
Women
yourself.
have to be able to nurture, and men have got to be able to protect you so you can nurture. It doesn't matter who makes how much money in a relationship. If she makes more than you make or whatever, that is superficial bullshit stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
and it's also and you're gonna know some girl's coming after you and wants to be nice to you because she's a gold digger or he's a gold digger, whatever. You're
right.
going to know because if you live your authenticity, you're going to know. You're gonna feel that, right?
Yes, you will.
You're gonna
You
feel
will.
it, but you cannot,
Intuitively,
right?
intuitively, you will feel it.
And so many people just shut down. So many men shut down from being from trying to protect and be that he-man that oh god just every time I think about it, I think it would just be my Spartan warrior, all sweaty and muscular, and the Spartan warrior little guys. Oh god, the Trojan horse thing. Oh, that era just, oh, that I gotta stop. But I think that, and then women, we love to nurture. Who doesn't love to be nurturing and caring? I mean, it's in their DNA. But because so much shit has happened in their lifetime that it blocks it off, right? It just blocks it off. And you can't feel that to nurture because you don't know how to nurture yourself. And if
Right.
you don't know how to nurture yourself, like you said inside, when you saw her when you were 15, you knew how to nurture yourself by saying, I'm over that.
Yes. Was not. I am not going to stand in. I'm not. I had moved on from that fearful place
Right.
of my 8th year life. I mean, I had a lot of stuff going on that 8th year of my life, but that was one. There were 4 pivotal things, and that was one of them that changed me to be the girl that I am today. And it was a traumatizing experience, but I am grateful for it because it. I've always been tenacious, but it just gave me permission to defend myself to the fullest without being apologetic for defending myself. And I think so often women are apologetic for being the type of women they are. And I'm not talking about the weak women because there's women that are weak, and we can talk to them all day long, and they won't. This conversation will not penetrate into the depths of their mind. That's just how
I
there's
I think
some
that
people
there's a
are made
lot
of.
of uh, well, I think that there's a lot of women out there that you're talking about because nobody's ever said to them you're worth it, because nobody said to me that I'm
Exactly.
worth it, and I was 40 years old, and the women that wouldn't hear it are the women where I was when I was 40, when God hit that reset button on my life, which is why he hit that reset button on my life, because you are doing all this stuff for everybody else, trying to please everybody else so they accept you, and all they're doing is taking from you.
Definitely.
And so you need to be able to see this so that God doesn't hit that reset. Because let me tell you what, when God hits that reset button, Dr. Rochelle Marie, it is freaking, it's,
Game changing. It
oh,
is life game changing when the reset button is hit for you.
the,
And
the,
sometimes it happens because you're not absorbing the energy, or I want to say the wisdom that's being bestowed upon you. You're not taking it serious, or you don't see it at all. So
you don't
sometimes
see
we
the
have to
worth.
have that bam reset button that breaks us all the way down so that we can be built up upon a pillar of strength
What would you
through the
say to those
divine.
women?
Yeah. Huh?
What would you say to those women like me? Because you are my hero of a woman. I'm not even kidding. You are exactly what I needed to be. No, you're exactly the opposite of what I was, right? But
How does
do you see
someone
what I'm
that was
saying?
like you find someone like me, or take the energy or the wisdom that I'm sharing? For one, I'd say connect with me. Connect with me and let's have a conversation. Let me help you. Let me help you to stand on your pillar of strength and build it up to like the Great Pyramid of Egypt. Okay. You can't talk to your friends. You can't talk to your girlfriends. You can't talk to your family because they won't understand. You need to talk to someone that's been there, done that, and understand what you're going through, that can give you wisdom that you can implement into your life so that you can be the pillar of strength that you need to be, not for your mama, not for your kids, not for your husband and girlfriend or whatever, but for you. And when you begin to understand that you are the most important person on the planet for yourself, then you will understand that you have got to make changes in your life to not only to benefit for yourself, but to benefit mankind or womankind or humanity, right?
Right.
It's a deal. We're all connected, right? We're all connected. So if you're a lady out there and what we're sharing with you or talking about is resonating with you, you know it's you and you want to admit it, but you can't admit it to anybody that's in your surroundings because they'll look different at you, look at you kind of funny or discount what you're saying, then reach out to us because we've been there. We've done it. We walked the shoes. I help women. That's what I'm all about. I call myself a dream lifestyle transformation facilitator. I can't change it for you, but I can help you to implement the things you need into your life so that you can transform. You can transform your life to what you want it to be. You can transform yourself as to how you want to be and how you see yourself, but you're not brave enough, strong enough, and don't have the support to stand up and be that queen.
Right.
Yeah, so I say I'm a transformation facilitator. I help you to facilitate the transformation in your life that you desire to see and have.
Oh, thank you. So now this has just gone so well. I'm telling you what, these podcasts are getting better and better. I'm really loving them. So, I need to find another platform to meet people like you, Dr. Rochelle Marie, because this is exactly what lights me on fire. Supporting people, and this is why I'm here. This is why God hit that button. So I do what I'm doing and I love it. And I want you to seriously share with people how they can get a hold of you, what's your website, and it is going to be in the description below, but I also want you to say it again.
Okay.
And I wanted to tell you that about my membership. We'll talk about that because my membership's opening up, and I'm right now offering affiliate opportunities for people to help grow the membership. It's going to be a membership of the I swear I told God it's going to be the largest spiritually foundational online community. It's going to be a spiritual online community servicing people around the world and bringing them all together. And that's my affiliate program starting here really soon, but that's for that membership, that just living from the inside out, teaching people you got to figure out who you are in here. Like you said, you had to dig in here, and you had that so that you could voice it out there. And you're beautiful. You're so beautiful. Thank you so much.
No makeup on today, so I'm like, oh dang!
You will not believe
Wear
the
makeup
women.
anyways, but I have some lipstick on and some eyeliner, and eyeshadow, mascara on, but I don't have nothing on. I just want to come and be my natural self because I think it's important. It's important. And plus, I wanted people to see my cute little freckles. That's really it.
I know that this podcast, people are going to hear this. I know, and I know thousands, Dr. Rochelle Marie, thousands of women, their lives are going to change listening to this podcast because of hearing my story and understanding where I went through, understanding where you are through, and they get to see both sides, right? They're going to see both sides of this coin, staring them in the face. They're going to be able to say, ooh, this part resonated with me, oh, but this thing about Lesley resonated with me. For this time, oh, but here she did this, and that's me. That's how you find out who you are, by looking at both sides and determining what you're going to take in to make you better and not bitter. And that is how you figure out who the hell you are on the inside so that you can know how to live on the outside. And that's exactly what you proved today. You said, I looked within and I did this and I knew this about me and I could go out into the world. And that's exactly my membership, living from the inside out. And I thank you, God, for this beautiful opportunity because I know you can feel them. I know you can because I can feel them.
Yes, yes. Thank
to
you.
women.
Thank you, Lesley, for, inviting me to be a guest on your show. I do want to share with the viewers and listeners that you can connect with me on my website, of course, which is Blissful Living, the number 4, and the letter U.com. I mentioned about the dosha, or your unique essence, and your body type. There's a quiz that you can take on my website that tells you that, what it is, what your makeup is, and gives you a wealth of information. Not only that, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, but what you should eat, how you ebb and flow, things of that nature. I'm on social media. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I think that's it. I used to be on X. I'm not really on there anymore, which formerly is Twitter. You can find any of my books. You can Google me on Amazon, and I have a couple of books. Unstoppable Woman's Manifesto, which is I channel Queen Nefertiti, one of the baddest. And I've had an affinity to her since I was a kid. Maybe that's where I got that powerful energy. But it's about how to create your own destiny, your own journey, whether it's your life or your business. It's 12 disciplines that the most successful queens in the history of the world utilize to command their empires and build their empires. And then I have 2 other books I think that would be the audience would love. This one is Affirmations, 365 Days of Affirmations for a Year Bliss. You can find all of these books on Amazon. And that one is each day is 1 to 365. You can open up the book, find an affirmation, and with the affirmation, there's an intention where you take an action to make that affirmation a reality in your life for that day. You can go from 1 to 365 or open the book to whatever page that speaks to you at that day, and you'll love it. Both of those books are best-selling books on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and other outlets. And then this book here, because this is a book that got me to be an international best-selling author my second time. And it's called Unstoppable, Being Fierce, Fearless, and Unfuckwithable in Business and Life. And I got this book I wrote this book with 21 other authors, ladies, because I said, ladies, if you never get to meet your granddaughter, your great-granddaughter, great-great-granddaughter, female future generations, what message would you like to share with them that no one told you about, no one was able to share with you? What lessons or message would you like to share with them to help them in either business and life? And so if you can't find me, you're not looking for me, but if you're out there and you're feeling vulnerable, you're alone, what we talked about resonated with you, then reach out to me. Again, my website is Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com. My other website is alldaykableInc.com. But for this particular show, Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com is, I think, the most appropriate. Thank you, Lesley.
Thank you so much. This has just been one of those powerful moments when you didn't expect. And then in the end, you're going to like sit back and go, wow, that just really happened, didn't it? Right? Thank you. Thank you so much for participating in my journey. Thank you for being the facilitator for me to express my true self and the interaction, because the conversation, I want people to know we had no idea. This was all totally on the fly. And that's how it works best. We just, hey, Dr. Rochelle Marie Lawson, I don't really know how to introduce you, so when we start this, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself, and we'll let it go from there, right? And you're like, cool, we'll do that. We had a couple little conversations about her hair because it's freaking fabulous, and boom, this podcast came about. So let me tell you what, when you think your life is boring or there's no excitement, just hold on, because the most amazing things can come out of these moments. And this has been a very powerful thing for me. Powerful thing. Any last final words, my friend?
Yeah, I do want to share a quote that's up on my my desk here, that is actually on my computer. I want to say, feel as you desire to be and be as you desire to feel. And you can say that over and over. And when you do that, just be present in the moment that you're saying it. Feel as you desire to be, and be as you desire to feel. And if you feel like you want to be strong, then desire to be strong. If you feel like you want to be loved, then desire to be loved. If you feel like you want to be wealthy, then desire to be wealthy. If you feel like you want to be happy and joyful, then be that. Be as you desire to feel. And if you can just take that away, if I said nothing else for you today, but that resonated with you, then I say, feel as you desire to be and desire to be as feel as you desire to be and be as you desire to feel.
That's funny because that is so beautiful. I'm gonna put that on this video. But here, that because I have this card that sits right here. I swear, and it says, I am chasing joy like it's my full-time job. That's
Yes.
exactly what this little card says. It just like, Lesley, you need to look at your life now like you are chasing joy like it is your full-time job. And I swear to God, from yesterday to and I think it's important. We cannot let these situations or these circumstances or these experiences in our life dictate who we are, because they will keep us down, and those negative feelings are the ones that keep us from our truth. And we need to, the way we let go is by healing forward and moving forward and realizing who we are and our worth. Thank you again, Dr. Rochelle Marie Lawson. We are going to be doing this again. I just know it. And for you out there, if you have any questions for Dr. Lawson, please reach out to her or reach out to me. Let us help you. We can't fix things for you, but let me tell you what, between the two of us, we have every tool to make you the strongest Aphrodite that you could ever possibly be by being just who you are, living from the inside out. Thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next version of Living or Life Made Easier podcast. Take care.